Hi, I'm Norm Wilkinson from Influential Sales Consulting. So this is the first of our new series called Helping Tech Startups Grow. And today what I want to talk about is something called ICP, your ideal client profile. Why is this important? Well, a lot of software startups begin with a great tech idea, thinking that if we build a great product, people will want to buy it and suddenly we have a great business. But the question is, do they? You might be building a solution to a problem that nobody wants. Your ICP, if it's not crystal clear, then it's very likely that your messaging and your offering is not hitting the mark and you wonder why you're not selling. So how does defining an ICP as early as possible help? It's really quite key. So it helps identify, and you need to work on this, who are your potential clients and really define them quite well. What type of companies in what type of industries? What are they looking for? What problems or pains do they have? What problems can you help them solve with your offering? And can we build it for them? So who are these organizations and who inside them do we target? Who are the people? Who are the roles? Who are the job titles, even if you like? And if we showed it to them, would they buy it? So this is the key question. So have your ICP defined really early on, very clearly, so that you can test it. You think about it time and again, you refine it as you go along. But it means you're focusing then on a problem, a company and a buyer then, and that's a great start. Much better than having no real idea about where to begin. So do it before developing as well, before, during and after, so that your ICP is constantly being refined and developed such that you're really targeted and focused on who your potential buyers really are. And I do mean buyers, not users. Those are two different things. We'll talk about that later. So it means that if you can't say which companies of which size or which location, the number of employees, etc., what pains do they have, if you don't have the ICP, how can you possibly sell to them because you don't really know how to approach them? So this is really important. You've got to develop it, keep refining it all the way through, test it with discovery calls, speak to clients and really understand what makes them tick and in their industry. And are we hitting that target with the right messages? And in a recent case, in my own case, we really found this out the hard way. We had defined an ICP, excuse me, but discovered it wasn't really the right one. We didn't have it properly nailed down. We thought we did, but when we went to market, I realised we were knocking on the wrong door, to be honest. And it took a while because we were convinced to actually realise that this was the case. And companies and people thought we were going to be our core buyers. Turned out that they were really not. So this realisation is you have to have it. It's sometimes quite painful. Like in our case, we spent a lot of time and effort putting in our messaging and organising our websites such that we would have the right offer to what we thought would be the right people. So if you don't get it right, you do have to change it, and you need to do that quite quickly. So what are the benefits of having a clear ICP? Well, it means that there are no false starts. If you get it right in the beginning, it means that once you start taking your products and offerings to market, then you're hitting the right people with the right issues and you've got something of value to really show them. You're more likely to create something that hits the mark, and that's really what you want. So, selling is all about offering a solution to a customer's problem and bringing those two things together. And the ICP really helps you do that. So it also helps you reduce rework at a later date, and at worst case can avoid a complete pivot. We'll talk about pivots a bit later in the series, but what it means is you change direction because you got the ICP wrong, you got the offering wrong, and you really need to rework it, and that's quite painful to do, especially if it's further down the line and you've kind of burnt your runway and your money. So the ICP is really helpful in driving that effort, driving your marketing, driving your revenue, align sales and the product teams to the same vision, and really helps you get better qualification and shorter sales cycles, which is important. Time to value for the customer is really important, and also time to revenue for the startup is absolutely key. So this is why it's important. So I would recommend, spend time to understand it, map it out, talk to the team, really work through customer journeys, if you like. That's a nice way to do it. Map it out, visualize it, question it and amend it as you go. Test it in the market with discovery calls. So these are really non-selling calls that you can actually set up with customers who are willing to participate with you and say, yeah, is this something of interest and have we got it right? Does it fit? Now, I produce a one-pager for my ICP. So, it doesn't have to be complicated, but it needs to be down in writing, or mine's a PowerPoint. So it's a plan, it's a visual plan. So it's important to have that plan. And do it now to make sure your ICP works for you rather than against you, because this is really what is going to help your growth start and your business begin to fly when you get this thing right. It's really something critical that you do at the beginning. So DM me on LinkedIn and I'll send you my one-pager example. It's not rocket science, but it has really helped me, and you can do it for yourselves quite easily. So ask me questions after this. Stay tuned for the next session. I hope these snippets will help you. They're designed for you to put together and help you create a blueprint for your business. We'll be covering lots of topics going forward in terms of the company, how to organize, how to structure. We'll be talking about money, how to spend wisely, funding, this sort of thing, and then everything sales. So you'll see the next one from me fairly soon during the course of next week. And I hope this is going to be useful for you. That's the really idea. I'm not selling anything. I'm here really to help coach in an online process for you guys. So please ask questions. Thanks for listening. Good luck, good selling. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.